Hello everyone and welcome back to the fourth episode in my How to Make a Piggy Game on Roblox series. Now in this video we're going to be making the tools such as the stun script for the crossbow and also the piggy bat work, as well as the remote events. We're going to set those up so we can have the announcements that come up when someone gets killed, and we're also going to do the animations for the piggy bat, as well as some general things as well to do with the game logic script. As I said in the last video, if you found a bug, check out the link in the description down below. I am human, and so I can't answer all of your comments because I'm getting hundreds every single day. It's just mathematically impossible for me to answer them all. So try your hardest to debug your code, look at the output window and scan your code line by line really carefully to see if you spelt something wrong or made a mistake, because that's going to be the cause of your bugs or your errors, because as you can see on my end it's working completely fine. So without any further ado, let's get straight into episode 4. So what we're going to work on next is cleaning up after the round is finished. So things like teleporting the players back to the lobby, removing everybody's tags, destroying the map, etc. So after the start round function is called, what we're going to do is we're going to make the contestants table in the game logic script, we're going to make it blank again. So we're going to say contestants equals and then a blank table to reset it to a blank table. Then what we're going to do is we're going to loop through all of the players in the game again. And just like we did at the beginning, we're going to copy this for loop and we're going to paste it down here again. And what we're going to do is we're just going to insert all of the players that are not in the menu into it, okay? Just so that we've got all of the players in the game, and then what we'll do is we'll teleport them back to the lobby. So, because obviously if they are in the menu, then they're going to be already in the lobby. So this for loop is just in adding them to the table again, including those though. The reason we have made the table from scratch again is because some people might have joined halfway through the round, which is what we'll be working on later on, and they wouldn't have been counted in the original contestants table because it was only made before the previous round started. So we're getting all the players again, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put them back in the lobby. So firstly, we need to check if there are spawns in the lobby. So make sure that you've named your lobby model, lobby, and you've got that spawns folder in there containing all of your spawn locations. They need to be spawn locations and not just normal parts. So make sure the folder's called spawns and you've got the lobby. So once we've got all of the players in that table, we obviously need to check that there are spawns. So if game.workspace.lobby find first child spawns, so if you've got spawns in your lobby, then we're going to do round. We're going to call that teleport players function on the contestants, and then we're going to do we need to give the spawns to the teleport players function. So that's going to be game.workspace.lobby again .spawns :get children, and that will return a table of all the spawns in that folder. Okay, all these spawn locations, so that the teleport players can put all the players on different ones. And that should do it for the piggy as well, because the piggy won't be in the menu. So even though we're counting the piggy as a contestant here, we're not actually checking if they have a contestant value. We're just checking to see if they're not in the menu, which the piggy won't be. So the piggy should be included here. But if you haven't got any spawns, we can do another fatal error warning, just to warn the creator. So if you if you change the lobby at a later date and you forget to add the spawns, this should warn you in the output. So you don't have to do it if you want, but it's a good way of reminding yourself if you don't know what you've done wrong. And it just helps reduce the amount of errors that you might get. After that, we're going to need to delete the map. Delete the chapter that's currently in the workspace, so we can say cloned chapter :destroy, and that will remove the map. We don't want lots of maps being created each round. And then we need to remove everybody's tags and just clean up the whole game in general. We've got quite a lot of things that we do need to clean up, which you might not have thought of. So things like obviously the piggy and contestant tag, but also removing everybody's tools if they've got one equipped, and all that other good stuff. So we're going to go back into the round module where we've got all of our functions, and we're going to create another function. I'm going to call it function module dot remove tags. And then inside of this function, firstly, just going to do another for loop. So for I, comma v in pairs, game.players colon get players do. So for every player who is going to be represented as v, we are going to firstly check to see if they have a piggy tag. So if they do have a piggy tag, we'll say v.piggy colon destroy and just remove that piggy tag. Else if v has a contestant tag, which they probably will, because there's only one piggy. If they have got the contestant tag, we'll say v.contestant colon destroy. So we'll firstly delete those tags. Very nice. And then we will remove the tools. So if they're the piggy, they're going to have a piggy bat. So if v.backpack find first child piggy bat, then v.backpack.piggybat colon destroy. End. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to copy that line and just paste it underneath, but change the backpack to character in case they have it equipped. So change it there, but also change it after the then. You've got to change it 2 times. So if v.character find first child piggy bat, then they'll have it in their hands currently. We need to destroy it from there as well, because it'll either be in the backpack or it will be in the character. It will be on one, but not both. Now that we've done that, we need to remove all of the contestants tools. So we can say for now, because we've got a for loop inside another for loop, I'm going to use 2 different variable names for my I and v. So we're going to say for underscore, comma p in pairs, v.backpack colon get children do. So looping through all the tools in the player's backpack. If p is a tool, then p colon destroy. As I've said, it doesn't matter what you call these 2 values. Okay, I've just used a hyphen because I'm not even going to use the I value, the index value. I'm only using the p, and the p represents the thing that's going to be inside the backpack, or anything that's going to be inside the backpack. So we're looping through everything. So it's going to be done to everything in the backpack. So if it's a tool, I'm going to destroy it. Then we need to copy this for loop. Make sure you only copy the right amount of ends. We should only need 2 ends, one for ending the for loop, one for ending the if statement. And once again, change the v.backpack to v.character. So you're just looping through all of the things in the character, and if there's a tool stored in the contestant character, we're going to destroy it. So now that we've done that, we've deleted their contestant value and removed their tools, we should be good to go on that front. One other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into server storage, and inside of here, in server storage, I'm going to insert a folder called game values. And inside of here, I'm going to insert a bool value. And this value is going to be called game in progress. And it's just useful because we can set it to be true or false when a game is happening. And then from other scripts, we can tell if a game is currently in progress. For example, when we're going to work on the menu script soon, which is going to run when they press the play button, we want to check to see if a game is currently in progress. And if it is, we want to put the player into the current round if they've joined halfway through. So to do that, we need to check if a game's in progress. So I'm going to set this value to be true when a round starts, and then at the end, when we do the remove tags, we can set the value of it to be false. So I'm going to say, outside of this for loop, that's where it ends, don't do that, I'm going to say game.serverStorage.gameValues.gameinProgress.value equals false. Okay, I'm going to make that false. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to set it to true in another script, okay? And the script that we're going to put that into is going to be in the game round module, but it's going to be in the start round because that's when the round begins. So we'll just do this. We'll just copy it and paste it up here. But this time we're going to set it to true because when the round starts, we're going to set the game in progress value to be true. But then when it ends and we do the remove tags to clean up the game, do the general cleanup so we can do the next round, we're going to set it to false because obviously the game isn't in progress anymore. In fact, we'll put that at the top because it should be executed first, in my opinion. The script does everything in steps, and so we want to firstly set the game in progress value to be false, obviously, because that's the first thing that should be done, just in case somehow somebody is so fast that they click the play button before we set it to false, even though the round has finished. Okay, so that's that done, and that is the cleaning up needed so that we can start the next round. But you will be wondering, well, how do we start the next round? Because currently, when the game finishes, that's it. It doesn't restart, and it's a good question. First things though, we need to call that remove tags function, just like that, after the clone chapter : destroy. Now, we need to wrap all of this code that we've just written, well, nearly all of it, into a while loop. So, where we start this intermission here, we're going to say while wait do, and then we're going to add an end right at the bottom. So make sure you've got that while wait do at the start, just after where you've required the door module, but just before the intermission. And then at the very end of the script, after the remove tags, you add that end. Then select everything in between those two lines, in between the while wait do and the end, select it all, and press tab on your keyboard. That will indent it, and that just makes it a lot more organized and clean. It shows us the code that is inside this while loop. And now that we've put it in a while loop, that means that it will repeat forever. So it will just keep running this code over and over again. So we start off on the intermission, but when we get right to the end and we've removed the tags and we get to this end here, we're going to go right back up to the top and do it all over again. And that is how the rounds repeat themselves forever and ever and ever. Because the while loop, when it gets to the bottom, it will go straight back up to the top. So after we've cleaned up the round and destroyed the map and everything and teleported everyone back, it's going to do an intermission again for 30 seconds. Then it's going to choose a new map because it's firing this round select chapter function. And then it's going to teleport everyone. Then it's going to start another round. And that round is only going to finish when the start round function gets to the end, which will only get to the end when this for loop is broken. So either when the time's up, or someone dies, or the piggy dies, or whatever. So you can now see that we have this game loop, which is running over and over and over again. So this is how the game works. And we've pretty much finished the game loop for itself. Now, obviously, we don't want the round to start unless there are two players, because that way it's going to do the intermission, and if there's only one player, it's going to choose the piggy, and then it's going to get stuck because there's no other contestants to choose from because we've removed the piggy from the table. So we need at least two people to start the game. And obviously we can test with two people because we can start up our test server. So we're going to implement a repeat until loop in our while loop at the top here before the intermission, but inside the while loop still. So we write repeat until, and we want to repeat checking to see if there's enough players in the game. So we'll do local, we'll create a table, and we're going to call that table available players, and we're going to add all of the players that are not in the menu to this table. Then we're going to see how many items are in this table, so how many players are available to play. And then we can see if that number of available players is greater than or equal to 2, we can start the game. So we're going to repeat, and we're going to use a for loop for I, comma, player in pairs, game.players, get players, do, if player, if not, player find first child in menu. So if there isn't a tag in the player called in menu, then we're going to insert them into that table. So table.insert, we're going to add them into the available players table, and the thing that we want to insert is that player. So then when we've done that, we can say, we can set the status to say status.value equals, in fact, we haven't got a variable for the status yet. So we're going to say local status equals game.replicated storage, wait for child status. Because we have the status value in the round module, which is where we've been updating the status from currently, but we've had no need to actually update the status from the game logic script yet. So status.value equals 2 ready players needed. Okay, and then what we'll do a bracket, an open bracket, and then we'll do a dot, and then we'll do hashtag available players dot, and then open the bracket again, open the speech marks, and close the bracket off. And that way it will tell us the number of players currently in the game. And in fact, I'll do a /2 in this end string here, so that it will look like a fraction. So if there's one player in the game, it will say 2 ready players needed, and then it will say 1 out of 2. That just updates the status, makes it look really nice. Then we're going to add a wait 2, just so that it's not repeatedly repeating this every, hundreds of times per second or whatever. We need a nice delay so that it doesn't crash our script. So a wait 2 will do perfectly. And then we want it to keep on repeating this and keep on checking to see if there's 2 players until the number of available players is greater than or equal to 2. And when it is greater than or equal to 2, it will break out of this loop. It's kind of like a for loop or a while loop. It will keep on running until there are 2 or more objects in that table. And when I say objects in that table, I mean players in the game. Because if there is a player that is not in the menu, then we insert them into that table. And every time we go around again, we reset the table, so we make it blank again. We insert all the players that are ready to play, and then we count up how many are ready. And then if there are enough players, then it will break out of this repeat loop. Okay? So now we can test the game, and I'm going to put this intermission back down to 5 seconds, because it doesn't matter about it being long or short, because the game is only going to start when we have those 2 players in the game. Okay, so you can see that we are in the game, but we haven't been teleported or anything, nothing has come up on the screen, and that is because we're in the menu. And we've told the script not to count us if we're in the menu. And if we open up the server here, if we just bring the server over here, and we look at player 1, we can see that player 1 is in the menu and player 2 is in the menu. When we exit out of the menu, look at player 1. You can see that in menu gets destroyed. And now it says that there's 1 out of 2 players that are ready to start the game. If we do the same for player 2, it will now say 2 out of 2 players are ready. It's going to say next round starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One of us is going to be selected to be the piggy, but then we have our game loop. And it's still going really, really quickly. So if I die, for example, if I reset, then it's going to say the piggy has killed everyone. Then hopefully it should it will get rid of the map. Let's see. Yep, the map's gone. I can see it on my server. It's completely gone. But the next round is starting, so it should insert the map again. There we go. It's been inserted. And now you can see we're both the piggy. And that's because we haven't undressed the piggy yet. And we haven't actually removed the old piggy. So that's what we need to do next. So to reload the piggy, we're going to go into the round module. We're going to go through our remove tags, and in the if statement where it says if v find first child piggy, what we're going to do is we're going to say at the end of this v : load character, and what that will do is it will respawn the piggy without their outfit, so it will just respawn them as they were with their normal player outfit. Okay, and then that way when the next round starts, they will be back to normal. They won't have their piggy bat anymore because we've destroyed it from the backpack. And one other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the game logic and I'm going to add some waits. So I don't want to activate the doors as soon as the map has been loaded, because just in case the map hasn't fully loaded yet and we accidentally miss out a door, I'm going to add a wait 2 seconds there. I'm also going to have a wait 2 seconds between the actual teleporting of the players and the map being loaded, because sometimes the map can't be fully loaded, and if you teleport people straight away, they might get stuck halfway in the map because they'll start falling and then suddenly the map gets loaded, so their torso is stuck in the map. So if we get where the map when the map has been loaded and when the piggy has been chosen, if we just do another wait here for 2 seconds, that looks good to me. And we'll also do another wait here, just so that when the round's all finished, we can just wait 2 seconds after everything's been cleaned up before we start the next one. Okay, I think that's all good. Let's go ahead and test it again. Okay, so the next round is starting, and if we just die again as soon as we load in, and we'll get ready to reset. Okay, so the current piggy has reset, and so he should so he's now respawned in as my default character, and hopefully a different Piggy gets chosen next time. Maybe it's going to be player 1 on the right. Let's see. So now we've got those weights in there, which is allowing for some time for the everything to get loaded. But now we actually have a proper game loop which seems to be working, which is really, really good. So what is left to do? We've got quite a few more things left to do, such as the Piggy Bat and all of the different remote events that we need for our GUIs and things like that. And also things like teleporting players if they've joined halfway through, crouching, placing traps, lots more to come. Because we want to make our Piggy Bat work, so that's one of the remote events that we're going to have to set up. So I thought I'd walk you through how the Piggy Bat works. So inside the tool, Piggy Bat, which is in server storage, firstly we have a local script, and this handles all of the clicking that's done on the player's computer. So we've got two events here, script.parent.equipped, and that's going to run when the tool is equipped and opened up. It's going to show the GUI that says click a player within 8 studs to kill them, just a little helpful guide. And this one as well, unequipped, will hide it when you unequip the tool. But this one, script.parent activated, is going to fire or be triggered when you click the mouse. So mouse.target is going to be the thing that you clicked. So if the mouse.target is called hitbox, okay, or it's inside of a model, the thing that you touch, then it's likely that it's going to be a player. Okay, so what we'll do is we will use get player from character with the mouse target, and that will check whether the player that you've clicked is an actual player, and if they are a player, then we can fire this remote event inside the Piggy Bat called hit, and supplying the player that we've clicked. And then in this server script, it's going to pick up the hit event, and it's going to play an animation, which looks like you're swinging the bat if you're the piggy. And what's going to happen is it looks a bit confusing to you, but all that's happening is it's checking if the victim, the person that you've passed to the server script through the remote event, the victim, if they have a character, it's checking to see if they haven't already escaped. That's something that we're going to work on very soon. But also it is going to check to see if you are within 8 studs of the player. So this victim.character.humanoid root part.position minus player.character.humanoid root point position dot magnitude, that is basically the distance between you, the piggy, and the victim. So if it's less than or equal to 8 studs, then it will let you kill them. So you have to be within close range. And then what it will do is it will slow them down, it will make them freeze, you'll freeze as well, and we've got this function called freeze, which will basically it will weld all of your body parts together so you can't move. The victim's character. And then we're going to fire this remote event called Piggy Hit, and that's what we've got to insert. So let's create a remote event in replicated storage and call it Piggy Hit. Now, what this will do is it will tell the player or the victim to show a GUI on the client end, and that's going to be the black GUI that appears. And then what will happen is after 0.65 seconds, which is going to be how long it takes for the swing to actually hit the player, it will again slow the player down and it will kill them. And it kills them, and then it plays a death sound, and the death sound is the same one you'll hear in Piggy. And then after they've died, it will make the piggy be able to walk again, and it will fire this other remote event called kill feed. And the kill feed is what makes the GUI pop up on the screen saying that the victim was killed by the piggy. So that's another remote event that we're going to insert, and we're going to call it kill feed. So by now you should have 3 remote events, one called menu play, one called kill feed, and one called Piggy Hit. Now if you're interested in learning more about how I made this Piggy Bat, I'm going to make a tutorial. I'm going to link to it in the card or put it in the description. I'm not sure if I've run out of cards yet because there's a max limit of 5, but I will film myself making this from scratch. So if you want to enhance your scripting knowledge, maybe you're a little bit more advanced at scripting, and you want to know how I made this tool from scratch, then I will have a tutorial on how I did that. I'll put it in the description. Okay, so they are the remote events that you need for the bat. Now, the next thing we'll look at is the stun script. So There's also a tool called the crossbow, and that's for use by the players, the contestants. And if they click the piggy, basically like shoot the crossbow at the piggy will become stunned for 20 seconds. So, for 20 seconds. So, yeah, so inside of this local script, it's a little bit different to the other scripts because it fires a remote event called stun. So that's another remote event that we'll need. I'm going to add another remote event into replicated storage, and so should you, and I'm going to call it stun. So what it will do, it will fire that remote event, and then it will destroy the crossbow because it can only be used once, unlike other tools. We don't want the player to always be able to kill or to stun the piggy, else it would be unfair. So you only get one use, and so it will destroy after use. But there are 2 crossbows available in the map, in different places, but they will both destroy when they've been used once, okay? So when this stun remote event is fired, it gets picked up on the server in this stun script, which came with your Piggy Kit. Again, I will have a video up teaching you how to make the stun script and the crossbow from scratch, although for most of you, it probably will be quite advanced, and if you don't want to learn how to make it, then that's fine, but the video is in the description or in the card if I do have a space for a card if you want to learn how to do it. But basically, a quick overview is that when it's picked up on the server, your mouse target, so the thing that the player clicked, is sent. It just checks if the target is a member of a model, and if it is, then it's probably the piggy. So we look up the piggy player from their character, check to see if they have that piggy value, and if they do, we're inserting a tag into the piggy called stunned, and after 20 seconds, that tag gets destroyed. So from other scripts, we can tell whether the piggy has been stunned. For example, in the bat script, the piggy is not allowed to kill anybody whilst they're stunned. So if they try and click and fire this hit event, then we will check. If not, player find first child stunned. And that basically means if the piggy isn't stunned, then we'll let them kill this player. But if they are stunned and they have got that value in them called stunned, we're not going to let the player kill the victim. So the victim gets away because the piggy is stuck. Remember, in the stun script, the piggy also gets sparkles added to their head, which makes it look like they're confused. We also announce to all players that Piggy is gone for 20 seconds. Now, this is another remote event that you need to insert. So go ahead, insert another remote event into replicated storage and call it announcement. Now, the announcement remote event gets fired from the server, and what you can do is you can send a message. Now, you can either send a message to a certain client, a client is basically a player, or you can send it to all clients, so all players in the game will get the message. And when you do, if we go into the GUI in the client main, which does again come with your Piggy Kit because I made it for you, if you look in here, we've got game.replicatedStorage.announcement on client event. So when it gets fired from the server, it's going to change the announcement GUI. So it's going to change the announcement text labels text to whatever the text is that we sent. It's going to make it visible for 5 seconds, so you can see that announcement. All players will be able to see something get announced. So kind of like a message like Piggy is gone for 20 seconds. We've also got one for the kill feed, which we've already created. We've already created our remote event for, and that is when somebody gets killed with the bat, with the bat script. We will fire that event to all players, saying that the player, whoever it was killed by the piggy, and it's basically the same thing. So the remote events that you will need are going to be stun, piggy hit, announcement, kill feed, and menu play. Make sure that you've named them exactly the same as I have, and you've got the capitalization correct. Really, really important. And as always, I am going to put tutorials into the description on how I made all of these remote events work, and all of the tools as well. They may be a little bit delayed after the video. That's just because I've got a lot of content to put up at the moment. I've already gone into 3 hours of filming this video, so a lot to edit. So please do bear with. Okay, so now that we have done the stun script, let's go ahead and try it out and see if it works. Now, like any other item, I'm going to have to go into the map and find the crossbow. So hopefully we can do that before the time runs out. Here we go, so try and do it as quick as I can. I know it's in here, in the dining room. And pick it up. And hopefully I don't run out of time. Look, we've got not long left at all. If I click the piggy, he's gone for 20 seconds. He can't move. I'm trying to move him, but he can't move at all. He's just trapped, and he can't kill anybody. So look, the contestants have won. So brilliant. So the stun script has worked perfectly. Now, let's also test out the bat, because I'm wondering if that's working with the remote events that we've just added. I wonder if it does. So wait for the piggy, and this will be awesome if it does work. So we're going to click on the player. Look at that. Boom. Player 1 was killed by the piggy. So we've now got our piggy bat working, and it says that the piggy has killed everyone. So we've got a working piggy game, which is awesome. So I'm going to try this again. And what I love about this is that the camera will change to the piggy when you get killed, just like in the normal game. So if the piggy kills you, it will look like the piggy is hitting you with the bat, which is really, really awesome. So let's have a look again. If I try and boom, and you heard that as well, the death sound is the actual one from the Piggy game as well. So awesome, we've got a lot of our Piggy game finished so far, although there's still a lot more to do, things like traps, crouching, lots more to do. And if we just check the output, see if anything's gone wrong, I don't think it has. No errors, which is awesome, so you can tell that the tutorial is working. So there we go. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on this menu play on server event in the event handling script. And we're going to work on when a new player joins and a round is already in progress, we can insert them into the current round, which is going to be pretty easy to do, trust me. So after this if statement, we're going to do another one underneath it. We're going to say if game.serverStorage.gameInProgress.value is equal to true, double equals, then, so if a game is currently in progress, what we're going to do is we're going to put the player into the round. So what do we need to do? Well, firstly, we need to give them a contestant value. We're going to put that contestant value into their player. So very, very simple, just as we've done before. Local contestant equals instance.new ball value, give it a name, contestant, and we're going to put that, we're going to parent it inside of their player object. Then what we're going to do is we're going to teleport them into the round using the teleport players function of the round module. So we're going to have to require the round module by saying local round module equals require script.parent wait for child game logic dot round module, and then underneath this instance.new ball value, but still in the if statement, we can say round module dot teleport players, and we have to supply the player table, so the table of players that we want to teleport. Obviously, we just want to teleport this one player, so we have to put them in their own table, like this, just as we had to do with the piggy. And then we're going to do comma, and we also need to give the function the map spawns. So we will get the current map from the workspace, which will be game.workspace.map, as we change the name of the map to be map. Dot player spawns, in fact, we will say find first child map, in case it's not there. And then we will say dot player spawns :get children, like this. Okay, and that will teleport that player into the map, and then they will be in the round. So now let's go ahead and test this out. We're going to go into test mode, this time however with 3 players, because obviously we need 2 to start the game, and then we're going to have the third one who joins halfway through. So let's check it out. Okay, so we've got player 2 on the left, player 1 on the right, and player 3 in the middle. Now, we're going to insert player 3 into the game when the current round starts. And so, let's click on play. And boom, they get inserted into the round. And if the piggy kills player 3, well, there's still player 2 left. So they're still being counted. So they're being counted as an actual player. So the game registered them as a contestant because we inserted that contestant value into their player. Excellent. So we have just been able to allow players who join late or midway through a round into the game halfway through, and I think that's fair because these rounds, they're quite long, 10 minutes, they can last a while, and you don't want to be waiting for ages. So yeah. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is to do with the Piggy Bat again. And I said earlier about a hitbox, which we talked about in the bat script. So either to see if the victim is a... sorry, so to hit a player, the Piggy currently has to hit the player's character, so one of their body parts. And that can be hard to do, especially if they're moving and jumping. It's hard to click it, especially if you're on a mobile device as well. So, what I've also done is I've allowed for the Piggy to also be able to touch a part called hitbox. And so what we can do is we can create a big part which surrounds the player's boundaries, and it's kind of like a big square part. So even if you click an edge of a player's character, or maybe just a little bit outside of their head, you will still hit their hitbox, which will be attached to their character, so it will still register as being able to kill the Piggy, which is why I've said if mouseTarget.name is hitbox. So what we need to do is we need to weld this hitbox to the player. If you haven't already seen, the hitbox is currently in the server storage. It came with the Piggy Kit, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in the workspace. It's currently transparent, but if we just make it visible, you can see, so the player would be inside of this hitbox. So imagine that the head is like in the middle here. You still have a little bit of leeway in that you can hit anywhere within this box and you will still hit the player, which is kind of fair, I think, and it's worked very well in testing. So I'm going to make it transparent. We're going to put it into the server storage. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to clone this hitbox and then weld it using a weld object so that it sticks to the player's character even when they're moving. So make sure that anchored is set to false and can collide is also set to false, okay? So both need to be false unchecked. But what we're going to do is... okay, so inside the round module, in the teleport players here, we will... let's think about this. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're going to insert the hitbox. So local hitbox clone equals game.serverstorage.hitbox:clone. Then we're going to say hitbox clone dot parent dot parent equals player dot character. Then we're going to say in fact, before we parent it, we'll say hitbox clone dot cframe equals character dot humanoid root part dot cframe. We need to attach it first before we parent it, because we need to weld it in a minute. Then we're going to say local weld equals instance.new. And by the way, if you don't know what a weld is an object in Roblox which joins two objects together, even if they're unanchored, so that they stick to each other. So instance.new weld.part1. So you have to set the two parts that they stick together. So the first part is going to be the character's humanoid root part. The second part, we don't say part 2, instead we say part 0. I know it's weird, but that's just the way Roblox works. Part 0 equals hitbox clone, okay? And then we're going to put the weld object inside of the character, just like that. And then we can do the hitbox clone.parent equals player.character. So firstly, we're cloning it in, we're putting it in the right position. We're still keeping it in server storage for now, just so that we've got it in the right position, it won't fall out of place or whatever. Then we're welding it together, and then we're putting the hitbox inside the player's character. Now, if we check this out again and load the game up, let's have a look. Okay, so a new round is about to start. So if we open up the Explorer and have a look in if we have a look here in this list, you can see we have a hitbox for player 1, who is the other player. If we have a look over here, you can see that they've now got a hitbox surrounding their character. So if I was to click maybe just a little bit off by next to their head, but still click in the hitbox, they would still die. And it didn't register the first time because I was just a little bit out of bounds, so I wasn't within the 8 studs. But you can see that the hitbox gets created. Now, if you watch again closely, obviously we don't know who the Piggy's going to be, so it could insert into any of these players. Let's have a look who's going to be. Okay, it was player 2, so this time I've got the hitbox on me. So if I was to make open up the properties window and change the transparency to 0.5, you can see it surrounding me. So the piggy could click anywhere wherever this hitbox is surrounding. So here wouldn't work, but if I was to click there, it would work. So it makes it easier for the piggy to kill you, but it was hard in the first place, especially if you're on mobile. So, and especially as well, if you're a small character and your R15 sliders are the lowest, it's even harder to kill somebody. So this hitbox makes it easier for the piggy. And trust me, if you've ever played with a piggy, it's a godsend. It's much better to play with it like this. So yeah, that's the hitbox complete, and it just makes for a better game. And also, those of you who are using the bat, the animation most likely will not play for you, and that's because we can't share animations in Roblox, so you're going to have to create it yourself. Now, if the bat isn't working for you because of this, I recommend that you go into the bat script and you just remove this part here where it says local anim equals player.character find first child humanoid load animation script.parent.swing. Okay, remove these lines of code, this highlighted block. Remove that and it should work. But I'm going to show you how you can make the animation. So what you need to do is you need to go to server storage. We're going to copy the piggy. We're going to put the piggy into the workspace. And if we open up the animation editor again, set the animation property to be action. Just make sure that you've clicked the 3 dots by the play button on the animation, and then you've clicked on set animation priority, and then you've clicked action. If you don't do this, then your animation is not going to play when we load the game, because its priority is lower than the default core animation. So make sure if your animation doesn't work, that you have set the animation priority to be action. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to about 0.1. We're going to drag the arm up into the air. Then we're going to move along a bit, move it even further back, and then drag the blue along, and we're going to swing it. So we're going to move the arm back around, but turn it a little bit like this. Let's play. Perfect. I like this one. Looks good to me. So I'm going to right click, export. Okay. And then it's going to say create new. Go ahead and do that. Give it a name. And click finish. Then carefully click and drag to select this ID. Then right click and copy it and click OK. If you can't see that animation ID, go to Roblox, go to the create page, and then go to my animations in the left column, and it will appear for you. Then you can close down the animation editor and then go into the swing animation and paste your animation ID into there. And then if you go back into the game, it should work. I have been filming for over 3 hours. I know the video isn't that long that you're watching, but all of this footage has to be edited really, really carefully. So I've been filming for over 3 hours today. So I really do appreciate all the support, the likes, the subscribes and everything. Much appreciated. Okay, let's try it again then. Let's go over here and see if our animation will play. Boom, look at that. The animation has played. Now, if you think the player got killed too early or too late and you want to change the timing, that's fine. Just go into the tool and the piggy bat and play around with these weights. Okay, so this weight here, change it to maybe a smaller number, so 0.55 or 0.75. Have a quick play. Don't mess around too much with the other things because you might break the bat, and I can't help you if you've messed it up. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do, we need to actually make it possible for players to escape. So in the map, we have a final door. Now, I'm going to just take the chapter 1 out of the folder and put it in workspace to show you. So the final door is this one, and it's unlocked by the white key. Firstly, you need to use the wrench to turn the generator on, and the generator has a value inside of it called on, and when you click the wrench, it will check to see if you've clicked the generator, and if you have, it will set this on value to be true. Then, when you use the hammer to click these 2 wooden blocks, they will get deleted. And then finally, when both of these things have been done, you'll be able to use the white key to unlock the door. So, what I've done is I've named this door the exit door. So the door that you want people to escape from, you must call it the exit door with a capital E and a capital D. That is so important. You need to call it exit door. I've also added a padlock mesh onto every single door. So if you want to make another door which is locked, you need to have two things. You need to have this value called key, and you also need to take this padlock. So you'd copy it, and then you'd get the door you want and select it. I press Alt and click to select the door itself, and then you right click and paste those two things into it. Now the padlock is going to appear far away, so you need to click the padlock by pressing Alt and click, and then Alt again and click and drag. Okay, let go of Alt, and then you can drag it onto your door. So I'm going to drag it onto the door here. Then I'm going to use the move tool just to push it into the door a little bit, and I'm going to change the color of the door to a different color. Okay, when I've done that, I then need to, in fact, we've already got a green key, so I'm going to do a black key. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. Black, but I'll make it. Okay, we'll go with that. So yeah, when you've done that, you need to then change the value of this key value to be the name of your key. So it needs to be the name of the tool. Now I'm going to create a tool called black key. So I'm going to change this value to say black key. So this is the key that you'll need to unlock this door. Okay, you need to have the value, you need to set the value property of the value, and have the padlock in there as well. Next, you then need to make the key. So what I do is I will just take a key, so the green key for example, right click, duplicate, and change it to black key. Make sure you name it black key. And then going to change the color to be black. And then I'm going to go into key handles, and I'm going to duplicate one of our current keys, so the blue key. I'm going to name it black key. And again, I'm going to change the brick color to be black. So we've created a key handle, which will allow us to click it and equip it. And then we've created our tool object called black key. And we've also got our door with the key value inside, which tells us that it's the black key that's needed to unlock it, as well as the padlock, which will fall off when you click the key against it. So you need a padlock in every single door and a key, else it's not going to work, and you'll get an error. Then, obviously, you need to take the black key out of the server storage key handles, and you need to put it into the items folder. So I'm right-clicking and pressing paste into, or Control-Shift-V, and that puts the black key into the items folder. Now I'm going to press F when selected to move the camera to it, and we now need to move it somewhere into our map so that players can pick it up. So for example, I'm going to go put it on the bottom floor here. Okay, now if I take the map and I put it into replicated storage into the chapters folder, and I play the game again, we'll be able to use it. So very, very essential things. Firstly, you need to have the door with the key string value inside, and that needs to, the value property of that needs to be the name of the key used to unlock it. You then need to create that key and put it into the server storage tools folder, and then you need to create the key handle, which is basically the parts inside of the key, inside of the tool. So what I did, I just duplicated a current key that I had, the blue key, changed its name, changed its color, and that way I just had a quick way to make the key. And then you had to, okay, so not working for some reason, so I can't open the door. And if you can't open the door, it's a sign that your door manager has gone wrong, and there's an error in your door manager script. So let's just have a look and see what the error is in the server. So going into the server window, nothing seems to have gone wrong. No, nothing seems to be wrong here. Let's try and debug. Oh, I just realized I'm so stupid. So it's locked, isn't it? It's locked. We need the key, but the key is on the other side of the door. So we kind of chose the wrong door to do there. But we'll try again, see if we get a different spawn point, but then afterwards we will delete the door there, because we don't want that door to be locked. And by the way, I'm just going to go into the round module and change the weight here for the for loop to go back to 1, so that it's actually a true countdown of 10 minutes. So I got lucky this time, so if I take the, well firstly let's check out the door, so I can't currently go through it, but if I pick up the key, which I can do, because it's got that click detector and the key, the key script inside, which you need to put into each key handle, by the way. So put that click detector and the key script in that are in all the other keys and items so you can pick it up. If we put it against the door, you can see the door manager automatically makes the padlock fall when the key touches it, and the door will disappear. So that works perfectly. So that's how you add your own door or key. I'm going to go back into the chapter now and remove the black key. I'm also going to remove the padlock and the key value. I'm going to rename the door as well. Good practice to name your door to whatever it is. So if it's unlocked by the black key, name it black door. That's what I've done with all the other doors. So this is the blue door, this is the purple door, this is the red door, etc. So remove the door, and the black key is also gone from the items folder, so that can go back into the chapters folder. Make sure you do put it in replicated storage chapters. Then I'm going to go into the key handles and remove it. So when I was talking about the key script, if you're adding a new key, make sure you add this item script into the black key key handle. It's in all the other keys, so you can just copy it and paste it in. But if it's a model, like the crossbow, as I've said before, put it in a part inside the model, but change script.parent to script.parent.parent, because we want to send the model, not a part, to the clicked function in the key module. So delete the black key, and also delete the tool as well, if you're not going to use it. Okay, so we're nearly finished with our Piggy game. The last things that we need to do is work on the crouching system so that a player can crouch through certain holes in the map, and also the trap system so that the Piggy can lay down traps, which the players can get stuck in. So that's what we'll be doing next. But we do have a functional Piggy game as we speak, so you can go ahead and play it and try to escape from the Piggy. Perhaps publish it and try it out with some friends. So click on File, and then if you go to Publish to Roblox, you'll be able to publish this as your own Roblox game. Also, you might not have seen that this main menu actually changes your camera to be looking into that intro tunnel that I showed you about earlier. This is because in the client main script, after 2 seconds, your camera C-frame, so the position of your camera, gets changed to be looking into the intro tunnel. So if you wanted to add your own Piggy inside of this tunnel, what you need to do is go into server storage, where we have currently got our Piggy, right click and copy, and then paste Piggy into the intro tunnel. Now we're going to use the move tool to move him all the way over there, and we're going to press F to move our camera to him. I'm just going to move him over here, and because the camera's looking like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the scale tool. I'm going to press down shift and drag to make him bigger. Then I'm going to use the rotate tool to make him look at the camera like this. Oops, I've dragged it too far out, so I'm going to press Ctrl Z. And now, if we select everything inside of this Piggy and we set it to anchored so that he won't move around, we can also delete this animate script because it's not needed. Now, if you play the game, then after 2 seconds of being in the menu, it's 2 seconds just to let you load in, you'll see that the Piggy has appeared because our camera is now looking at the Piggy. So if you wanted to, you could rotate him even further like this, so he's actually looking at you. And we'll try it again. And you can add whatever things you want to this intro tunnel, and it makes it look more like the real game, doesn't it? Because you've got your Piggy looking at you, and you can add more things down here. If you want to improve the lighting, you can, if we go into the light part and change the surface light range, you can increase that, or you can change the brightness, or even the angle of the light, like this. I'm going to have mine set at 90. There you go. Very, very nice touch. And again, that intro tunnel came with the Piggy Kit, so make sure that you don't change the name of the intro tunnel or the name of the camera face or camera origin parts, because it will break itself. If you do want to change it and you do have knowledge on C-framing the camera, then go ahead, but I won't be able to help if you mess it up. So I hope you're enjoying this series so far. If you are, then please do click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Roblox scripting videos. I hope you're enjoying this one. I've put a lot of effort into it so far. as I've said, 3 hours into recording and countless hours of creating it and testing it before I even started recording. So please do show your support by liking, subscribing, and if you do want to take your support further, you can become a channel member, a premium channel member, $4.99 a month on my channel. You can click the join button underneath the video next to the subscribe button, and also you will get the access to the full project file which I'm working on right now. So you'll have all of the code completed for you to go in and use for yourself, as well as other cool perks such as a little badge next to your comments in the chat, and also priority responses for your comments. And also, if you want to tinker around with the effects that come on the screen when the piggy does hit you, then you're going to want to go into the Piggy Hit local script in the main GUI and mess around with this 0.65 value as well, because this is the time that the camera will be looking at the piggy before the screen goes black. So the longer, the higher the number, so maybe 0.75 or 0.8, the longer it will stay looking at the piggy, but the less the number, then the less time it will between looking at the piggy and the screen going black. So you kind of want it to be synchronized with the Piggy Bat script. So if you've set it to 0.85 over here, you want to have it the same in this Piggy Hit script as well. So we will leave it there for episode 4. I recommend that you go straight to episode 5. It should be released by the time you're watching it, although if you're watching it just as it's come out, then you'll have to wait until tomorrow to watch that, but it should be on your screen now. So go ahead, click the thumbnail to head straight to the next part, episode 5. I'll see you there.